Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special episode. We have Erica Bille with us. Erica, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So, we've known each other for quite some time, and I cannot tell you how wonderful and blessed I am to have watched your journey because you're just an incredible person and running an amazing business. So, I'm excited to chat with you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited. Business is good. And
That's
thanks to a lot of help from you. So,
awesome. So, the question I like to lead with is where are you getting the majority of your business from right now in today's market?
right now, my database. I mean, I have some referrals coming in from real estate agents, but I've got a refi special going on right now. So, right now, I'm doing quite a few refis. So, I've been tapping into that past database a lot. So, we're doing a lot of connecting and calling the past database.
That is amazing. Okay, so talk to me about that. Are you using a CRM? There's a loaded question.
I am. I'm using Loan Officer CRM. And I still am not using it to the level that it's capable of, so but we are definitely using it, and I'm trying to train. Old habits die hard. So sometimes
Oh,
I
yeah.
make things harder than they need to be. And I talk about this. I've hired my stepson as my assistant. I'm training him. He just got licensed he's 19. He just got licensed over the summer. So I'm trying to kind of introduce him to all aspects of the business. And one of those things is you got to learn CRMs. He's just dabbling with a little bit of everything and then acting as my assistant. And he's going to start producing himself. But I have him practicing making calls. He's making calls to, we're running a cold leads campaign for, some of our agents. So I have him practicing making calls with the cold leads. And then of course we're calling the past database. So yes, we are definitely using the CRM, and then I'm using the CRM for realtor calls. So yeah.
Amazing. So you've got a qualified list of agents and you're calling out to the qualified agents and booking appointments with them.
Yes, concierge is booking those appointments for me, and then I'm showing up to the meetings, which that has been absolutely fabulous because as much, especially as I get busy, as much as the consistency is key, but also hard. And so it's nice having concierge consistently making the phone calls and booking the appointments for me because, otherwise there would be times where I just wouldn't do it. So it's good to, that's been, game changing. So,
Yeah.
and then
And
I've gotten a few Google leads lately too. And I think that's, I've got SEO team helping me with that. And
oh man,
so I think,
okay, so you hit all aspects of that and in a very short period of time. But so there's, if I may, there's four legs of the stool, if I may, for our listeners. There's your past customer database, there's qualified agent relationships, there's deals that you have in process, and then there's online referrals, basically. Um,
mhm,
and you're
mhm.
tapping into all of those. So let me go back to the database. So you've got a special that's going on right now. So you call the database if they like. First off, what's the script? What are you doing to actually like connect with the database, and how's that working?
It's right now it's really personal because we're actually going through, and because of this refi special, we're actually taking the loan, like saying, hey, here's what you closed at. We're running the price in, we're sending them the screenshot, like here's what we could save you, here's what your monthly payments are. This is not a guarantee to lend, but send me your most recent mortgage statement, let's run accurate numbers, but we think that this is, and so that, and then just picking up the phone and calling. And that's both Charlie, my assistant, and I both doing that. Kind of, we've divided and conquered all because it's anybody who closed in the last 2 years that are slightly higher rates. This refi special is fabulous for. So
If I
there's
may,
that.
hold
Hmm.
on, hold on. Sorry, I don't want to. So Do you have a rough idea of like how many calls you've made and how many deals you have in the pipeline as a result of making those calls, like the focus database calls?
Um, gosh, some are going well. How many calls? Gosh, I no, I probably should track that better. Um, but we at one point, let me look. I'm looking at my board over here. We're kind of getting on the tail end of closing some of them now, but we had like 14 or 15. Um, and I'm still working on some more because you have the ones that are like, I'm just gonna wait for rates to drop more, and I'm like, what are you waiting for? So it's been a little bit of, are you sure? And like they kind of say no, and then I kind of try to run the numbers and spin it a different angle. So it's some of the same. I mean, I've only been in the business since 21. My
Mhm.
past database is not giant, but I got in right as rates were going up, so almost my entire past database, minus that first year that got it at low rates. Everybody else has high rates, so it's been great. I mean, I've been pretty good at staying connected with them anyway, but now it's like I really have this opportunity to add value, so that helps with the conversion.
Yes,
But we still have more, but I think probably at least 15, 14, 15, like right now. And then as I'm looking over at my wall of people in process. So
that is
um,
amazing.
as we're talking, I've got AI. AI is also calling those for me as well. And so just a little bit of all of it. So
That is amazing. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to take a quick pause because I think my internet connection is a little bit
yeah,
laggy.
you keep going
So,
in and out.
okay, so give me just 1 second. They'll cut this part out. So,
Okay, no problem.
all right. So, am I back?
Okay. Still a
Okay.
little fuzzy on my end.
All right. If we give it a second. So, the fuzzy is okay because this tool that we're using will clean all that stuff up. But we just got to
Nice.
make sure that it's still recording and it's still good. So, we're good.
Okay, good.
All right. Cool. Thank you. Okay.
Of course.
Okay, so every 14 deals helps. So it's all of our listeners. Take a look at your database and put in the time to make the phone calls. If they don't pick up, drop a ringless voicemail. If they don't respond back, quick text, quick email, but automate it. Automate it inside the CRM so you just make the calls, provide the value, have the conversations. Now,
Yeah.
Erica, you know I'm a huge proponent of make your calls, but if you're not going to, have somebody else make the calls for you because it's arguably the most profitable activity that happens in the business.
Hmm.
And as a mortgage lender, if you can get to the point where you're just doing appointments rather than making the calls and you can have all of your time just doing the appointments, you're that much more profitable and effective in your business. So, talk to me a little bit about that, the outbound calls that we're making to the real estate agents and the appointments that are getting booked, that sort of stuff.
Okay, yeah. So Cheyenne is my appointment setter, and I think she's been training some other people. She's fabulous. I listen to the recordings of some of the calls, and I kind of just listen to them before I actually pop on with the real estate agent because I want to know like, was the real estate agent really excited about this appointment, or was the real estate agent like, okay, I'll meet with her. Just so I have some, and sometimes I do that, and sometimes I don't because I just show up in the calls. The calls end up being great, but it has been fabulous, and we just recently imported a new list because for a while I had her because mortgage marketing animals suggest you call the same 30 people every week for 12 plus weeks, and that's not exactly what Cheyenne's been doing. I think she's been calling a bigger list, but I wanted her to go through that list a few times before we gave up on the list.
Yes.
And so she did that, and then the list kind of got a little stagnant. So then we've imported a new list, and now it's been like reinvigoration of like new appointments and all the value add. I mean, and it's some of those scripts that we're using to just get agents to actually want to have the appointment. And a lot of that is um, adding the value that you always suggest of just the cold lead. A lot of them like love that idea if they've been paying for Zillow or realtor.com or Boomtown or whatever those cold leads are. um, and with the cold leads, they even like it too because that campaign is not a dial campaign, but we're calling,
Yeah.
whether it's, and that's part of my train, that's one of the things that I offer too, is like we're calling those cold leads because it's an opportunity for my new assistant to just practice talking on the phone,
Yep. Yep.
um, and it and it's funny how you get those people on the phone that are like, I don't know why I felt compelled to answer the phone today, but I did. And I had one that was just like, I just loved your assistant. I wouldn't have taken, he was just so great. And then we get a refinance out of it, or we get something, or maybe they were cold leads back then that we're turning into pre-approved buyers. Now the conversion rate on those is not amazing. They were cold leads, but it's been it's been great. The realtors love it because they're not working those databases for the
That's right.
most part. And so that definitely piques their interest. And
So,
then it gets an opportunity. I think that's one of the biggest reasons we're getting people, you know,
okay. So
what's setting me apart, right? From like when these top producing agents are getting, 100 phone calls a day. I don't know how many phone calls they're getting a day, but when they're getting all these phone calls, I definitely think that script of somebody else making those calls, but using those scripts to add value has been game changing to get them in those meetings with me. So,
yeah. So I know that there's going to be people that are listening that are like, wait, what? Back up the truck. So
mhm,
what we're doing is you've got a qualified agent list. So
mhm,
agents that are doing 8 or more buy side transactions, you've got a list. We're making the phone calls for you through the loan officer CRM to those agents. Our script, one of the scripts that we're using to those qualified agents is, hey, I'm calling from Erica's office. She asked me to reach out. We got this cool thing where if you've got any cold dead leads from Zillow, Boomtown, whatever, we'll work them for you, turn them into pre-approvals, and refer them back to you. Would you like to set up an appointment and talk about it? You get on the phone, you meet with a top producing agent, and they've agreed to meet with you, and we book the appointment for you.
mhm, yep,
Then they're giving you the Zillow leads that they're paying 50, 75, $100 a piece for
mhm.
free. You're working the leads and you pulled refinance deals out of the cold Zillow leads that the agents have given you.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah. I mean, and it's funny, you come across some crazy one. I mean, I had one of them ended up being a lady who was a real estate investor who just had taken a break from it for a while. And now she's like, you know what? My husband and I are trying to buy this property and we're trying to buy this property. And so it's like, and so now we have a new client who happens to be an investor who's going to buy multiple deals to hand back to that agent who, like, the lead never converted back then because she was an investor who probably just clicked on a, a Zillow ad or whatever it was. And yeah, so now we have a repeat client that we've been able to give back to an agent. So
That is amazing. And you're getting the pre qualifications and then giving them back to the agent. But the whole deal is I'm providing something of value to you, and your real offer is, hey, who are you working with right now that I can pre-qualify to make sure they're a good use of your time? And you're actually using that to open up a referral relationship. We don't really care about the cold leads. It's just like an extra bonus.
yeah,
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 you're just opening up the relationship. So how is
absolutely.
it like, how are you finding that conversion? Are the agents that you're meeting with turning into referral partners?
Yes, and that's the nurturing part,
Right.
right? And that's
Yep.
the part that it not immediately, not always immediately, they're skeptical. They're always, and then a lot of them are very skeptical about, I just hand my database over to you. It's like, I get it, if we want to work some deals together first before you hand that over to me. Send me, I'll take some too. No, but there's some trust building there. Some of them are just ready to do it, and I explain, we tag them with you. I explain that any lead you ever give me, if I get any leads off of it, I'm going to hand them back to you. So even if I get a refi lead off of it, but then that refi lead sends me a purchase or a sell, like, I'm going to pass those back to you. And it's all, I explain how well I track that. by tagging them in the CRM. And then they're also, a lot of them are also like, and I talk about, we're integrated with AI, and I tell them I'm not letting AI do all the work, I promise, because some people are still scared of that, um, and so I said, but we're allowing the AI to help us be more efficient and um, work these for you to hopefully get some more deals for all of us. So
That's
that, a definite, and you get some that are like, I'm so old school, I don't, and it's like, okay, well, I can still try for you.
yeah, no problem. I can go knock on their door for you if you want. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I won't do that.
um, so okay, so that is absolutely amazing. So roughly, like, how many agents would you say you're meeting with a week right now?
I mean, at least I would say at least 5 to 7 a week, maybe more. Some week it's some are better than others, and some don't show. But I would say I'm getting maybe even more, two appointments a day on some of them. So, and again, since we just imported a new list, it's a little bit more right now, and then it kind of starts to dwindle off, and then we bring in a new list. but
Awesome.
um, but but yeah.
Results not typical. I'm just, I'm just kidding.
But I mean, I would say at least 5, and sometimes it might be 7 to 8 new agents a week. And honestly, some people want. I know I love Steve Kyles, and I do all the data, and I mean, yes, I would love to jump to 40 qualified agents, but in my mind, I personally don't. I'm a small broker shop. I don't have the capacity to handle that yet. So for
Right.
me, it's the growing. I I can't scale too fast. I don't want more. Some people, and it's like, in order to get to this level of production, you have to have X amount of talk tos a week. I get all the math of it. But then you also have to staff people and be able to handle that kind of pipeline and shore up the system. So that's the other part I'm working on. I'm working on learning the CRM better and utilize. So even though I've got this great resource, I'm still not using it to the level that I could,
Yes.
because it's like we said before, like old habits die hard, and so and just training myself to stop using my iPhone to call people, and start calling, because I always want to go back to texting and calling from my phone
Right.
versus, and I have the app on my on the CRM app on my phone, right? But it's just training myself to use that and do everything through the CRM, because then it's all in one place versus lost in the depths of my iPhone. So there's things like that I have to train myself. Otherwise, I can't scale to the level that I want to, right? So I'm happy with that level of like two to three realtor appointments. Well, 3 realtor appointments in a day is a lot, but I've had some days where I have 3 like back to back, calls and with realtors. And so, um, but yeah, like nurturing, like I said before, I can't do too much at once. I have to roll it in slowly and build my team so that I can handle the level of business, so I'm not over promising and under delivering
Yep.
service. So
And that is such an amazing way to grow. And that's one of the things that I love about the realtor appointments is you can almost feel how the volume is going to come from those partners, and
mhm.
then you can actually plan appropriately for it. So it's like, hey, I know I've got this producer, they're doing this amount of volume, I can expect this to come from it, and you're prepared for it. So as the phone calls start coming in, you can scale and you can know, because half of what stops people from scaling is the loan officer roller coaster. It's like, okay, I'm going to do the activities, so I'm going to generate the loans, but then the loans come in and you're doing the mortgage business of doing the loans, but then you're not doing the prospecting. And so you're like, oh, I think I'm to the point where I can hire somebody and get some help. And then all of a sudden your pipeline's drying up and you're like, what's going on? It's like, oh, I'm not doing the activity that brought the loans that got me to that point. You can never get to that hub of hiring the help because of the inconsistency in the core activity of filling the calendar and filling the appointment. So now you can scale. You
Yeah,
can reliably hire the person and feel confident that you're going to be able to provide for that person because you know you can continue to build the pipeline. So
Yes.
it's amazing to watch you go
Yeah.
through this
And
journey. So,
that whole roller, I mean, I've been having that roller coaster in my career since 2021. But but on top of all that, the prospecting and the working the loans, the time it takes to hire somebody is a whole other, it's like a whole other job within itself. So building the systems out and utilizing the CRM and utilizing the resources so that I can manage my time. And again, that's the struggle every day of like getting better and more disciplined with my time to make that happen. But definitely that's why I'm just so grateful for, you know, concierge. The fact that it's like I'm not always consistent, but I know that the concierge is consistently making the calls and booking the appointments for me. And
that's
so
awesome. So shameless plug here. If somebody wants to find out about the concierge program, just go to lo appointments with an s.com. So lo appointments.com. Fill in your information on the form. We'll reach out, set you up for an appointment. Hey, somebody's going to call you. We're actually going to pick up the phone and give you a call, book an appointment with you. So, anyways, um,
well, and I'm going to piggyback off of the other thing that I've done lately is I've been working on building the funnels, right?
yep.
To, and I, I used to be a teacher. And so I do sponsor a lot of like the school things around here
Oh,
because
cool.
people know me. So, so I'll have a little ad in the football program or in, on the school folders, which, is a small little thing. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, I want to see if I even am getting a return on this. I don't care if I do or not, honestly, because I just want the teacher in me wants to help the kids, but obviously I do want return. And so I've been building the QR codes and then that go into the CRM and do some follow up appointment booking. So that's the other part of the concierge team. Like I was trying to kind of figure it out last night, and then I recorded a video like, JC, help me. I did this. I think I did this, but I know I'm missing a step here. And first thing this morning, he's like, you're missing the step. He hopped on a Zoom with me. He ended up doing it for me,
Yep.
but he showed me also how to do it so that, you know, because there was a moment where it's like I needed to get some artwork in, so I needed to have the QR code for a deadline. And so I made the QR code in the CRM, and then I was like, I don't know where this QR code goes yet. It doesn't go to anything. And then JC helped me build the funnel and connect all the dots so that now,
That's amazing.
and so he helped me with that was this morning. That was like last night and this morning was a little bit of struggle because I was like, I knew just enough, but I couldn't remember those couple things. And so it was just so nice to have. And like immediately I sent the email last night, first thing this morning, he
That's
hopped on
amazing.
and helped me. So I got 3 or 4 funnels going from the few little things that, you know,
That's awesome. That what one deal
yeah,
and you're
yeah,
rocking. And knowing
yeah,
where it comes from is just priceless. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you for being so generous with your time. If I may, just a couple more questions.
Of course, yeah.
So you mentioned starting to get a couple of leads trickling in from Google. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
So I've also got you guys doing my SEO stuff for me. I don't even know what any of that means in the background. Um, I don't know the hooks and the links and the back links and don't know what any of that means. Um, and I had a Google business profile, but yeah, I had just this month, I've had two Google leads that converted to refis immediately. They found me on Google, converted. I've had quite a few, they don't always convert, but they like, I think you've said this, they convert better than the cold leads.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yep.
and I think that Google traction is picking up when I ask, like, how'd you find me? Oh, I just Googled, and I'm popping up, a lot more, in my local area. And I know, Matt's great. Like I love that we works on the blog posts for me and all the things that, there's a lot of things that I know with all the help of AI and ChatGPT, there's things that I could do it. I could do it myself,
Yep.
but I don't. And
Right.
you know what I mean? And so I'm using AI for all the things, but some of the things like writing the blog post and writing the Q&A on my Google site and all of that stuff, I know how to do it. You've trained us how to do it. I'm happy to let somebody else do it for me though, so that I can just focus on all the other things in the business. And so,
Who
so
not
that
have?
I don't know how long I've been with the SEO program, but I can feel like it's the uptick of that is, it's coming to fruition now. And it's actually,
And it does. It takes time. But one of the things, and one of the reasons why I was super excited is because what we've started doing in the background is tracking your influence inside of ChatGPT.
Mhm.
So if you attend your monthly meeting that you have access to with the team, most don't, but some really like to get into the data and the nerdiness of what's happening behind the things. And now, as part of that tracking report, we have a ChatGPT column where we're tracking your share of voice in conversations of artificial intelligence as to whether you're being recommended. And it looks like this month is going to be your first month of breaking into when people are having a conversation with ChatGPT recommending your mortgage business.
Nice.
And so that is a combination of what we're doing on Google, but we include that for everybody for no charge that's on the SEO program, because I'm a very firm believer that like roughly half of the traffic that happens on Google today and those leads that you're getting, half of those are going to be coming in from AI within the next year to 2 years. And
Mhm.
so we're ahead of that. And so you should start getting people where it's like, how did you hear about me? Well, you're not going to believe this, but I found you on ChatGPT. Like,
Mhm.
that's a regular conversation that we're starting to hear back from our members. So you're just on the cusp. So hopefully on our next podcast episode, we'll be talking about the first deal that you've closed from ChatGPT.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's
It's
do it.
it is a wild world. Okay, so Erica, final question. Oh, two more questions. Okay.
Okay.
Um, coming into the business when you did, and recently going through this growth curve, because you've built a fantastic business. I mean, 14 deals in the pipeline from just a database calling
Mhm.
campaign and building all these qualified relationships. If you could go back to meeting yourself when you first joined the business, you're at a mixer, you walk up to yourself, like, what's the nugget that you give yourself knowing what you know now?
Systems and follow up.
No
So
way.
I think making the call, I mean, because I think at the beginning I was trained like just make the calls. And I didn't find mortgage marketing animals and things like that till later. But I remember going, okay, I'm making the calls, but then when do I call back? How often do I call back? What do I, and just all those little things. And then it would just kind of be random. Like I'll randomly call them back. I didn't have at the beginning, I didn't have any systems. It was just, and I was also trying to learn how to do loans on in the middle of all that. So there was a lot of things, but I think it's just creating a system and a plan and a calendar and sticking to it and making the calls,
Yeah.
having. So I think and that's what I'm trying to train Charlie, my new assistant, my stepson, and this is like it it is, and I think I've had like adult onset ADHD that like it's gotten worse as I've gotten, and so that just being systematic, making the calls, not being afraid of the scripts, and then but then having setting up the CRM because and I think you've alluded to this too. It's like you can't wait till you're super busy and then set up the CRM and
That's
then
right.
set up the system and then do it because it's like you've got to have the system. I wish I would have had a better system to begin with because now I'm breaking habits that I created and just, I mean, I've only been since 21, but still I have bad habits that if I would have set the system up, um,
Yeah.
it would be cleaner already. I think I would have scaled a little bit more already.
Yeah.
Um, so,
I love the tasks at the beginning of the day. So you put somebody in a workflow, and it's like once a week on the right day, it adds them to your task list. So you just log into the CRM. Here's all the people that I need to call. They're already loaded in a power dialer. You just open the power dialer, hit the call button, and the calls for that day are being made.
mhm,
That's one of the systems when I discovered that in our business for our consistency. That was one of the huge caveats to the concierge program, because
mhm,
every concierge shows up to a list of exactly who they need to follow up on, who they need to have conversations with, who they need to book appointments with. So I think the advice that you just gave is exceptionally wise and
Yeah.
very useful to our listeners. Okay,
Yeah.
Erica, thank you for being so generous with your time. Final question: where do people go to find out about you? How do people find out about you, get more information about you?
So Nest Mortgaging, my company's name is Nest Mortgaging. Nestmortgaging.com is my website. But I am Erica Loan Advisor on Instagram, on Facebook, on all the social media things. Erica.loan advisor, I think. But
Amazing.
Erica at Nest Mortgaging.
Fantastic. Okay. All that information will be in the show notes. Thank you for being on the show. I sincerely appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much for having me. I'm so grateful to you. I appreciate like so much that I've learned from you and from all of your training and then your team has just been absolutely fabulous. So I
Awesome.
appreciate you.
Well, I am honored and blessed to have the team. So thank you. And I'm blessed to have you in my life as well. So, Erica, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. All
Awesome.
right.
To all of our listeners, looappointments.com if you would like to have a calendar with appointments from past customers and qualified agents on it. And with that, I will see y'all in the next episode. Thanks so much for listening. Talk soon.